Hello, good morning. Hello, everybody. So happy to see you this morning. Make some noise for yourselves, getting up early on a Sunday. I know some of us also were at another fundraiser last night. Make some noise if you were out at a different fundraising event last night on a Saturday night. I saw you there. Yeah, there was a couple others of you. Also, oh my gosh, this is worth noting. I am looking out at this room of absolutely magnificent humans. And what is striking to me about this room is that as I look at all of you, not only do I just feel incredibly heartened by the general warmth and genuine strength and awesome power of this grouping of humans, but what's notable to me about what I'm seeing this morning, because I've done a lot of these things, y'all. I've done a lot of these things with Pro-Choice Washington now, is that the room, in terms of the makeup, looks a little bit the same, right? Which means we are borrowing from our legacy. We are standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Folks who paved the way. But this is what's really giving me life in this moment, is that this room looks a little bit different too. Are you feeling this difference about who's showing up today? Because I'm feeling it in my whole soul right now. So yes, I'm seeing a younger grouping of humans, which is so important for the sustainability of this movement. Obviously, we're gonna need to sustain this energy, right? So thank you, younger humans, for gathering here. And let me just say it, because I'm seeing it with my eyeballs, I'm seeing a hell of a lot more color up in here today than I have seen at previous Pro-Choice Washington events. And that is not only just necessary for, justice, but also for sustainability as well. Because if your audience, your activists, your leaders don't look like the people we are serving, then we are failing. So I'm so happy to see you all in the room. I'm so happy to share this energy with you this morning. Who the hell am I? Oh my gosh. My name is Sasha Summer Cousineau. I use she, her pronouns. And let's go ahead and just take a moment before we get hella hypey and crunk in here. Let's just take a moment to ground ourselves, to set our intention. And one of the ways that we ground ourselves and set an intention and set an awareness is by doing a land acknowledgement. So we want to acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Duwamish people, and for generations, Native Americans and other indigenous communities have led the work to protect the fundamental rights of indigenous women and families, and are leaders in the reproductive justice movement. They have built abortion funds to improve access to care, like Indigenous Women Rising, and have led efforts to end systemic oppression that threatens health equity and erases communities. And I'll say for myself, as a white woman who lives on Duwamish land, I live, work, and play on the land of Duwamish. It is important for me to take a moment to recognize my privilege as I live, work, and play in this space, and in fact recognize that this space is not owed to me. I don't just get it automatically. Somebody stewarded this land, that the names of things that happen in this space come from a history, come from a rich, vibrant culture, and that things are sacred because somebody named it as sacred. So when I think about cultural icons of our Pacific Northwest, like orca, and when I think about salmon, I understand how sacred they are, and that helps connect me to this indigenous culture and to the people who have taken care of this land. And I'm grateful that I get to be here, so thank you for that. And with that, I'm gonna bring the first speaker of our program to the stage. So, let's all make a joyful noise. Let's just open up our heart space as we bring to the stage Board President of the Pro-Choice Washington Foundation, Annabelle Burgett.
Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to see so many new and so many familiar faces here today. Note cards. So I have the honor of welcoming you all on behalf of all Pro-Choice Washington board members. As you know, this has been one of the most significant years in our country's reproductive rights history. I am heartbroken, but not surprised by the decision of the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade this summer, and with it, 50 years of federal rights. But, especially this morning, I am still hopeful, because in those same 50 years, we have made sure that protections are in place to ensure abortion rights in Washington state. Thanks to activists like you, we are a refuge for patients who need reproductive care. This means we have even more responsibility to strengthen abortion access and equity here at home. Pro-Choice Washington is better positioned than ever before to do this. In our first year as an independent organization, we met the moment with compassion and dedication because of your support. We know the road ahead is going to be long, but I know that we are ready. So, this morning, let's first take a moment to thank the Pro-Choice Washington incredible staff, the board members, and all of our volunteers. And that's my main job. So now I have the pleasure of officially welcoming Sasha Summer Casino back, our MC, to the stage this morning. Thanks.
Thank you, Annabelle. You did your job quite well. I appreciate you. All right, friends. Gonna open up the golden folder where I have tucked my notes in a not very good way. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I have done a lot of these things with Pro-Choice Washington, so let's just do the math on this. I've been part of every single one of the fall fundraisers, be it an auction, be it virtual, since 2004. Yeah. So from 2004 to 2013, I worked for Pro-Choice Washington. After that, I became the MC for 2 years. Then in 2015, when we had a live auction, I became the auctioneer. And then in the last 2 years, I became pixels on your screen as I talked to a square box. So I'm super stoked to be seeing your real, meat bag human bodies, you're right here. You're not pixels, you're actual live flesh humans. It's really cool. And while we're all just having this moment together, let's talk about the ways in which we are going to support Pro-Choice Washington tonight, because there are so many ways. First, some of you are in the room, and some of you are on the live stream. Hello, live stream. You're still pixels, but that's okay. We love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for joining us virtually. We're so happy that you are part of this community. Thing to note, friends, in the online space, you can access closed captioning. Just click that little CC button. And I will say it is AI generated, so if you see a little typo or two, that's not on us. That's on the robots. Okay, so here's how we're playing today. QR codes. QR codes are the name of the game. That's how you're going to do just about everything that you want to do. So for example, if you wish to purchase one of the one-of-a-kind centerpieces on the table, they're all available for purchase at a flat fee. And guess what? If you're really feeling one over there, go grab it. The first person who scans that QR code and buys it takes it home. So all 15 of these are for sale. If you want to bid in our online auction, again, you're going to use the QR code to navigate to the online auction. If you want to donate, which of course you do, then you're going to use the QR code. So QR codes are the name of the game this evening. A couple things I should say also is that we have only 10 handmade mugs that are available over there at the merch table, the Moving Mountains merch table. And those were handmade for you all by Pro-Choice Washington board member Abigail Dorr. So thank you so much. Worth noting, they're totally dishwasher and microwave safe. Yeah, that's important, right? So then also we have the Moving Mountains posters, and those are limited edition as well. We also have some really cute, sustainably sourced, union printed, limited edition sweatshirts for Moving Mountains and tote bags. All of those are available. You just go over to the merch booth when you're ready, boop that QR code, and you can purchase any of those items. So now let's get down to the real nitty gritty, all right? These are the brass tacks. We have a goal today of raising $160,000 to support Pro-Choice Washington's work. Yes, yes, yes. I love your enthusiasm. That gives me all the confidence in the world that we're going to not just meet, but exceed that goal. So thanks to, so many of us are going to make that happen. We're all going to do what we can, right? But thanks to our table captains. Can we get a round of applause for table captains? Table captains, give us a wave. Give us a wave, table captains. Yes. Table captains are our party hosts, and we are so grateful to you. So with the help of our table captains, with the help of our sponsors, we're already off to a good start. So again, don't be shy. You can make some noise. You can stomp. You can clap. Keep it rolling as we shout out our sponsors. Thank you to our founding sponsors, Civic Ventures, Group Health Foundation, Michelle Quackenbush, Doctors Virginia Siebert and Peter Byers. Make some noise for them. And thank you to our champion sponsors. That would be Gillespie and Rode, IO Color, Jen Rice, and Dieter Klipstein. So thank you to them. And because a party's just not a party in Seattle without some cannabis, thank you to hashtag cannabis for your sponsorship for years in a row. I mean, that's so PN-dub of us, isn't it? And then we also have an awesome match. We have a match to motivate your giving, incentivize your giving. We've got $20,000 in match money available for you all. So double your dollars, get in on that match action. And really though, yeah, we can buy awesome things, right? We can buy centerpieces, we can buy a sweatshirt, a tote bag. We can buy auction items online. We can buy stuff. But really what we're doing here, friends, today is we are investing in our values. We're investing in the mission of this work. We are investing in community. So here's the real goal. This is the heart goal, and that is that we have 100% participation. And that means that all of us do what we can. There is a space in your heart and your pocketbook that is both powerful and meaningful. And I want you to find that space and do what you can today in support of this work. So now that I got all that business out of the way, let's go get into the good stuff, shall we? So this has been a huge year for this country, for this organization, and also for this organization's fearless leader. 12 months ago, Pro-Choice Washington became fully independent. Make some noise for that. Make some noise for that. Yes. I feel like I want to play some Beyonce for that. All my ladies independent. Okay, too early for a dance party. Anyways, so became fully independent. And what this allowed this organization to do is actually lean more deeply and honestly into our values here. Where'd that big gust of wind come from? Our values here in the Pacific Northwest, which means that abortion access is for all people, right? It means that abortion access isn't about a gender. It's not about your geographic location. Abortion access isn't about the color of your skin. Abortion access is for everyone. And becoming a fully independent organization allowed Pro-Choice Washington to lean more deeply and honestly into those values and to be more representative of all the communities of Washington. So I'm so happy to have worked for this organization in its past, but I'm so happy to be supporting it in its present and future, and so happy that we have this leader to take us through unforeseen challenges with boldness and humility. I need you all to just make a lot of noise for our executive director. Kia, get up here. The one, Kia Guarino.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am so thrilled to be back together in person with you. And as you've heard, today marks 1 year since Pro-Choice Washington became a fully independent organization. That's why this year's theme is Moving Mountains. It has felt like our organization has summited Mount Rainier twice. Yeah, thank you. Last October, Pro-Choice Washington rebranded and relaunched as a more representative version of ourselves. This independence gave us the freedom to do more with our power, both locally and nationally. And we became a go-to organization in Washington for reflections on the Supreme Court decision to overturn 50 years of legal protections this June. Even though many of us saw it coming, the overturning of Roe v. Wade was still a gut punch. It made our work to mend the equity gaps in abortion access more urgent than ever before. Clinics have already seen an increase in patients from states like Texas, Idaho, and Oklahoma, where life-threatening restrictions are in place. And in the coming months, we expect to see, conservatively, a 400% increase in out-of-state patients. The decision to overturn Roe v. Wade elevated abortion rights to the #1 voter issue in Washington, in a year where 87% of our seats are up for election. It also led to a disturbing uptick in white nationalist investments in key races across our state. As the only organization solely focused on reproductive freedom advocacy in Washington state, this year was and is a critical test of our capacity and our will. Because of your support and the resilience of our staff, volunteers, and board members, we've not only weathered our storms, we've come out stronger. We are giving people the tools to have honest, accurate conversations about abortion. We are establishing legal and policy infrastructure, and we are building a movement for November and beyond. I am very proud to share that this year, we helped pass a bill that confirmed legal protections for abortion rights in Washington. Yes. Thank you. Yes. It expands who can provide care, includes people of all genders, and protects patients in Washington state. We worked with the Seattle City Council and Councilmember Herbold to pass a slate of model legislation that physically and legally protects providers and patients in our city. We are working with our partners, many of whom are here today, to bring ambitious and innovative policies to the 2023 legislative session. These include the reintroduction of our essential bill, the Keep Our Care Act, remember that name, that prevents hospital mergers from further limiting health care in Washington. Last April, we published our How to Talk About Abortion guide. You can pick one up over there, which has been used by lawmakers and activists across the country to help reduce abortion stigma. For the primary election, we endorsed and canvassed for an inspiring and representative slate of progressive candidates, all of whom won their primaries. Now, we are in full swing for the general election next month with even more endorsements, more canvassing, and more get-out-the-vote activities. However, this is just the beginning. It took generations to pass Roe v. Wade, and it took generations to overturn it. This work takes time, and it takes collective, sustained action. We cannot be complacent. Just 2 weeks ago, Senator Lindsey Graham introduced a national abortion ban. Yeah. There are times when even I feel overwhelmed by the cruelty of the restrictions on abortion care. But then I remember that we are the majority. More than 60% of adults in Washington and 58% of people nationally were against the loss of federal abortion rights. And if each of us turns out for elections and encourages those around us to vote, we can preserve and even expand our rights. We saw this happen in Kansas, where people used their power to stop an abortion ban in their tracks. So we know that protecting our freedoms in Washington is possible. but it will require the moving of political, social, and legislative mountains. And this can only be accomplished together. We are making our way through this mountain range. There are ups and downs, and we are tired, but we have to keep going. You are here because you know that's true. You recognize the urgency of this moment as well. For reproductive freedom, but for all freedom. Together, we can move these mountains. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of your support and your love, and for being here today. We could not do this without you. Thank you.
A round of applause for Kia Guarino. Hey, Kia. So, I mean, I'm struck because as I look at the room and as I hear your comments, you know, I am really cognizant of the fact that this is a multi-generational movement. And the other thing that's holding space in my heart right now is what you were talking about in terms of Washington and our ongoing rights. Of course, we have to continue to fight for them. But our state is a sanctuary state because of the work of previous generations. And that's important. We cannot lose or cede that ground. It will be our collective dedication that will protect those rights for generations to come. And I hope that, of course, as we enjoy our mimosas and our brunch, that we just hold the fact that we are a sanctuary state in our hearts, and do not cede that ground. We have to hold that ground together. Quick fundraising reminder, because that's what I'm here to do. You can purchase your centerpieces. There is, if you can see, through this archway, there's a piece of art on the wall, and that is a biddable item. You can bid that up. It's not for a flat fee, and that was brought to us by Senator Lisa Wellman. That is her art hanging up on the wall. So yes, a round of applause for her. Thank you for that donation. So you scan the QR code, it will get you to its place in Classy, and then you can bid up high towards the sky, bid high, bid often for Pro-Choice Washington. We do need to thank some people who are in the room tonight and who have supported us with protecting abortion rights in Washington. Is Representative Milan Tai here? Do I see her? Well, she's been huge, and we adore her. Thank you so much for all of her amazing work. Councilmember Lisa Herbold, could you give us a wave, Lisa? Where are you, Council? There you are. Hello. Hello. Thank you for being here. Senator Lisa Wellman, are you here with us, Senator Wellman? Okay. She was here. She dropped off the art, in fact, so thanks for that. Anyways, thank you all for being reproductive justice champions and good friends of Pro-Choice Washington.
We'd also like to thank all past NARAL board members and staff, which is the previous iteration of ourselves. This is 46 years that our organization has been in place. Yeah. There were also several board members who finished their terms in 2020 and 2021, some of whom are here tonight. And we would like to take a moment to thank them for their contributions over the last 2 really challenging years. Thank you.
All right. Now we're going to take a peek at this here video screen, and we're going to see some history from the last 46 years. We want to thank Stella Zwingli and Ryan McDonald for compiling this bit of video that we're going to take a look at. Let's take a look.
My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My choice. My body, my choice.
In case you forgot, you have power. Even when you feel hopeless, your power to organize and your power to change the narrative. Because our right to abortion is worth fighting for. Thank you so much for showing up for our communities and defending our constitutional rights. I stand grounded in community and in solidarity with you all.
And because of voters like every single one of you, that Washington, time and time again, has protected and expanded a woman's right over her own body. Thank you. For doing that.
Access to safe, legal abortions is a human right.
Well, that was a feel-good 4 minutes of our lives, wasn't it? I love that. So I saw Ron Sims in there. Ron Sims used to be so solidly on our, I mean, still is, but like when I worked at Pro-Choice Washington, always was at our rallies, always was there. I saw our former executive director, Karen Cooper, in there. She was remarkable and achieved so much under her time there. I saw my old colleagues, old volunteers. I was in there looking 15 years younger. It's cool. Anyways, that was really sweet. I loved seeing that. Thank you so much. Board service is an important way to be an activist, as is donating. That's another way. As part of the new membership program, Pro-Choice Washington recognizes donors who have given significant contributions over the course of several years in a row, rather, and we are calling these folks visionaries. These individuals have played a critical role in sustaining Pro-Choice Washington.
For small nonprofits like our own, multi-year giving is a lifesaver. It not only gives us the energy on our difficult days, but it actually allows us to take a creative, visionary, and forward-looking approach. The consistent and generous giving from our visionaries has allowed us to make it through the last couple of years. So please join me in a round of applause for our inaugural visionaries.
Thank you, visionaries. And speaking of history, I have to say Mary Piggott, Elaine Noneman, Michelle Quackenbush, they've all been donors since I worked for NARAL, and I worked for NARAL starting in 2004. So they've been with us for the long haul, and I think that's incredible. But important even more to see new names on that list. So thank you all for diving in. This is an incredible commitment. So your commitments actually have already inspired others. Tell us more about that, Kia.
Well, to say thank you, we are going to give our visionaries a pair of limited edition signed posters that were done in collaboration with local artist Esmeralda Vasquez. So a round of applause again for them.
Art is a powerful form of activism as well, so many ways to be part of this movement. And if you want one of those posters that we just referred to, we have 10 available in English and 6 available in Spanish, and they're for purchase over there at the merch booth. And you're gonna say, Sasha, you're a dang broken record, but I'm gonna say it again. Just go over there with your cellular device and scan that QR code and get in on this action. Oh, sorry, did I stop too early? I might have. Let's see. They're $50, and again, just dive into classy. Oh, are you gonna go? Go ahead. Go have a seat, Kia.
I think it's, thank you, everybody.
Kia's been working so hard for us. Let somebody else do the work for now. All right. So I talked earlier about our goal of getting to $160,000. I'm just going to look at my tablet really fast and see how we're doing. All right, we are at just over $111,000. Let me just do a quick refresh. Yep, that's true. That's true. There it is right there. And we see your gifts coming in. Thank you much, Cecilia, Nancy, Jess, Jarena, Carolyn, Sarah, Riza, Amy T, Kia G. Who's that? Mysterious Kia G. I don't know who that person is. And Amy A. Thank you all for your purchases, for your bids, for your donations. Keep that love flowing. All right. So I mentioned that we have an online auction, and I just want to talk to you about some of the hits of the online auction so that you might get tantalized to head on into Classy and start bidding on those items. So a super sweet item that we have, 7-day tour of Rome, Paris, or London. You choose. It includes sightseeing and admission to tons of spots, 6 nights of accommodations. All your breakfasts are taken care of, 3 dinners. You got group transportation. You got a guidebook. You've got more. So that's one of our items. Another super great item is our Experience the Best of Whidbey Island with the Love Langley package. So this is 2 nights in a waterfront room featuring a soaking tub, a balcony, fireplace, and breakfast. You get all sorts of gift cards, including a gift card to a spa, a gift card to go kayaking. You get gift cards for food, gift cards for wine, gift cards galore. And plus you get a guided tour of the walking trails on the 100-plus acre Legacy Forest and Grounds right there at the Whidbey Institute. So that's another item. This item I've been hankering for a little bit. I really want to go here. Enjoy 2 magical nights under the stars at Treehouse Point. It's just 30 minutes from Seattle, and you can wake up amongst the trees and enjoy a fabulous breakfast. Because our board members just are the gift that keep on giving, our board member, Melissa Johnson, is giving us this wonderful experience to go to her home with 7 of your friends, and she's going to bring you the best of Southwest flavors. She's going to make some margaritas for you. There's going to be some guac, some enchiladas, some tamales, some frijoles, some Mexican corn spoon bread, and flan. Yes, please. That sounds amazing. So you can see all of these items and more on Classy. You've got a QR code right there at your table that'll take you there. So just get on in and start to have some fun. So now I am going to welcome to the stage somebody who I have had the distinct pleasure of witnessing the brilliance of over the course of years and many different environments. This person has dedicated her life to fighting for the economic and social justice necessary for all people to have reproductive freedom. Her own experiences as a teenage mom have guided her advocacy on behalf of working families, from securing a statewide minimum wage increase and paid sick and safe leave for all workers to yes, give that snaps. Give that snaps. Yes. Yes. Because you know why? That's not a given in every state across this nation. The fact that this is happening in Washington State, thank you for that. Thank you. And centering social justice includes her unapologetic support of abortion rights. I need you to make a lot of noise as we welcome one of our state's incredible leaders. Welcome Secretary Treasurer of the Washington State Labor Council, the one, the only, the always fabulous, on point, April Sims.
Y'all give it up for Sasha. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Sasha's right. You are a good-looking crowd. Yeah. First, I want to thank Kia and Annabelle and the leaders of Pro-Choice Washington for inviting me to today's event. Thank you very much. My name is April Sims. My pronouns are she and her, and I have the privilege of serving as the Secretary-Treasurer of the Washington State Labor Council, AFL-CIO, which you all can give it up for that. Which is the largest labor organization in our state, representing over 500,000 workers all across the state that work in every sector, in every industry, and every corner. I'm here today because the labor movement changed my life. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that. See, I was raised by a single mother of 3, and my mom, Cherie, believed in hard work and the American dream. She didn't expect to get rich, but she did expect that if she worked hard and if she played by the rules, she'd have the dignity that comes from making enough money to take care of her family, that she'd be able to pay the bills, put food on the table, and if she planned just right, maybe set aside a little something so she could retire one day. But that dream wasn't our reality because we were poor. And we weren't like money is tight, wait till next payday poor, right? They just cut off the electricity poor. We were on and off welfare for most of my childhood, and my mom wasn't lazy. I mean, she worked. She was one of the hardest working women I knew. Sometimes she'd work 2 jobs, right before school started or around the holidays when money was especially tight. But hard work was never enough because something would inevitably happen, right? One of us would get sick and she'd miss work. Like the time we all got the flu and we did that thing that kids do. You know, we didn't get sick all at once, but rather back to back to back. She missed 6 days of work. She didn't have paid sick leave, so since she didn't work, she didn't get paid. And since she didn't get paid, she couldn't pay the bills. So for a while, we were homeless and had to go back on welfare. You know, sometimes she'd quit because the working conditions were bad. Like the winter, she worked the early shift at the dry cleaners, and the manager refused to turn on the heat because she was the only one working. I used to get up early and watch her prepare for the day, and she'd put on her multiple layers of long johns and fill up her big thermos and head out the door. And I remember her coming home with fingers still stiff from the cold. I remember her frustration and her desperation that we just couldn't get ahead. You know, for every 3 steps she would take forward, something would push her back. And we were trapped in this cycle of poverty. And then she got a union job, and things changed. I remember her coming home and she said, "Baby, if I can just get this permanent position, it's gonna change our lives." And she was right. Her union negotiated a contract that made sure her hard work was rewarded with a livable wage so she could pay the light bill. You can give it up for that. Her contract included good benefits like paid sick leave and health care, so she didn't worry about how she was gonna make the rent when my brother, sister, and I all got the chicken pox. Her union fought for her. When the state reclassified her position and her union fought for back pay, she used that money to buy her first car. It meant she didn't have to take the 1.5-hour bus trip from our house on the hilltop all the way out to Western State Hospital where she worked. Her union gave her a voice. When her supervisor was making inappropriate comments, she was afraid to say anything. She didn't want to lose her job. She knew her kids were counting on her. She happened to mention it to a coworker who just happened to be a union shop steward. And her union shop steward told her, "Cherie, you're not the one who needs to worry about losing your job." And after 30 years of hard work and commitment, my mom retired with economic dignity and financial stability because of her union pension. I share that story today because I know the power of the labor movement, the amazing force for change that is the labor movement. Now, I mentioned that I'm the Secretary-Treasurer, which is a title that I know doesn't translate well outside the labor community. So my fiduciary responsibilities are ensuring the financial health of our organization and constitutional compliance, which would not make me normally a great keynote speaker, except, right, when you consider that a budget is a moral document. Where you spend your money is how you identify your priorities. And when you consider that the Constitution of the Washington State Labor Council, our founding document, charges us, and I quote, with fighting the forces that seek to enslave the human soul. All right. It's a beautiful charge, fighting the forces that seek to enslave the human soul. And it's this charge that brings me here today. This charge that unites our fight for reproductive freedom and access to safe legal abortions. We know that pregnancy impacts access to education, wages, benefits, working conditions. Those are workplace issues. And therefore, reproductive rights are workers' rights, and abortion rights are workers' rights. And this, you can give it up for that. That's right. This isn't just theoretical for me. Fighting for a world where working people have the resources they need to thrive is personal. Sasha mentioned when she introduced me that I was a teenage mom. I don't often share that I was also a high school dropout, but that was my choice. It wasn't easy to be a teenage mom, but it was my choice to make. Thanks to the advocacy of folks like you and the organizations like Pro-Choice Washington, I had the freedom to get an abortion if I chose to. And thanks to union-represented work and the work of the labor movement, I had the choice to get a good job when I was ready to. It was a difficult and complex choice, but the important thing is that it was mine to make. And no one should be forced to walk that path unless they choose to. Now, I see some snaps. Yes, yes. So I gave birth to my son when I was a teenager, and in the following years, I had 2 more beautiful, brave, brilliant children. My daughters, Naya and Jasmine, are actually here today. I don't mean to embarrass them. I'm gonna do that thing that moms do, right? Jasmine is, she's my creative. She's a spoken word artist, and she's also an organizer with Teamsters 117. So I'm very proud of her. Her future is right in front of her, and I want her to have access to all of the choices I was able to make when I was her age. My daughter, Naya, is working on her BSN. She wants to be an RN. And as a nurse, she'll get to choose her specialty, and maybe she'll go into reproductive health care. And I know that as long as these services are under attack, the workers who provide those services are also under attack. I want better for her and for her future. And here's the thing. Every time I gave birth, I went through this process that medical experts describe as labor. Yeah, some of you know what I'm talking about. Early labor, hard labor, active labor. I labored. And the fundamental principle of unionism, one of our core values in our movement, is the deep belief that our power and our dignity as workers comes from our ability to control and withhold our labor. That the decision to labor is ours and ours alone, that our bodies are ours to control. So make no mistake, reproductive justice is economic justice. Reproductive rights are workers' rights. Abortion rights are workers' rights. And attacks on reproductive freedom are coming during a wave of working class people seizing our power and flexing it. I don't think that's a coincidence. Attacks on abortion rights and reproductive freedom is part of a larger, ongoing class war aimed at dividing and weakening working people. We know that restrictions on reproductive health care fall the hardest on folks without the resources or the ability to seek out alternate care, particularly Black and Indigenous and other people of color who already struggle to access health care and consistently have worse health outcomes than our white counterparts. Limiting abortion access will only deepen these racial and economic disparities. Now listen, we know that billionaires and CEOs are threatened by the rising tide of worker organizing and pro-union public opinion. These massive corporations, greedily seeking to maximize their profits, are seeing consequences of playing hardball with workers. Local corporations have seen their stock value drop as employees organize and strike for better conditions. CEOs and politicians friendly to their causes are threatened by the possibilities posed by a working class that knows its own power is in its labor and the ability to exercise it. I know I said a lot there, but there is a concerted effort to keep working people in a scarcity mindset, in the hopes that the fear and uncertainty will keep us from uniting together and claiming what is ours. They hope to wear us down. See, CEOs are using inflation to cover jacking up prices. Massive corporations are investing millions of dollars into union busting right here in Washington state. And politicians cozy with the bosses and anti-choice extremists alike are working to pass laws to strip us of our reproductive rights, our workers' rights, and our voting rights. These are all connected. These are the issues of our community. But we know the truth. We know that united, we vastly outnumber those who seek to strip us of our rights. It is our labor that keeps our country moving forward. It is our labor that creates profits, and it is our bodies that are under attack. Now, understanding these attacks on reproductive freedom within the context of vast, ongoing attempts to curtail the rights of working people is what helps us identify the path forward. Collective action and radical solidarity with one another. That is the only way we win. In Washington State, you can give it up for that. Now, in Washington State, organized labor recognizes that we exist to fight for the economic and social conditions necessary for working people to thrive. The conditions necessary for true reproductive justice, for every person to not have merely choice, but access as well. This is why the Washington State Labor Council passed resolutions in 2016, 2019, and 2022, calling on our movement to fight for abortion rights and reproductive freedom. And that's right, there are fights ahead, but together we will beat back right-wing extremists looking to deny reproductive rights at the ballot box. We'll ensure we send strong women who will fight for our freedom in DC, like Senator Patty Murray, who is running for Senate this year, re-election, excuse me. And we will protect strong worker, pro-choice majorities in our state legislature. Together, we will work to mitigate the disastrous impacts of Idaho's ban on legal abortion. We will shore up protections here in Washington so we can continue to be a haven for people seeking abortion care. There is powerful work ahead. We've talked about how essential it is to securing our rights and achieving justice, but it is also essential for our emotional and our spiritual well-being. Like many folks in this room, I need somewhere to channel my fear and my anxiety and my rage at these attempts to deny us our rights. So in the weeks leading up to the Dobbs decision, my staff met and we discussed how we as a labor organization would show up in that moment. In that space with us, what we felt was real anger and grief, a sinking sense that we had been pulled backwards, that progress had been erased. But Casey Pereira, who is our Director of Racial and Gender Justice and one of the wise women on my team, reminded us that we are not at the end of this fight, nor are we at the beginning. We are immersed in the middle of a generations-long, a centuries-long battle for freedom, for ourselves, for our children, and for the generations that will follow. Now, I believe in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And it is our labor that moves that arc. It is our labor that shapes that arc. Within us is the power and the potential to win justice, not just for ourselves and our loved ones, but for our communities as well. The work we do together is vital to defending reproductive freedom and abortion access and ensuring that Washington remains a safe haven for folks seeking free exercise of our most fundamental rights. Our work together is fighting the forces that seek to enslave the human soul, because we didn't come this far to only come this far. So I'm grateful to be in this fight with you, grateful to have the opportunity to speak this morning, and thank you for having me.
Keep it going for April Sims. Yes. April Sims just blowing minds again, just blowing minds as always. Thank you, April. All right, so I continue to, April's telling us why we're fundraising. I'm going to bring it back to the fundraising. Those auction items that we previewed earlier, that's a subset of the overall auction. Those are our featured items, and we are going to close them after our next speaker. All right? So the featured auction items are closing in like a couple minutes. So go ahead and get those bids in. Now, don't worry about anything else right now because the rest of the auction is going to stay open for a while longer yet. You know, the centerpieces are available till they're all sold. The merch is available till it's all sold. But those featured items are closing soon, so don't say I didn't warn you. All right, now for our next speaker, I'm excited to welcome to the stage our new Pro-Choice Washington C4 Board President, Margot Franz.
I'm obviously much taller than Kia, so thank you, Sasha. You know, I truly believe that we're a part of history in the making. This is a huge moment for abortion rights and for pro-choice Washington. And after spending the morning with you all today, I feel more confident than ever that we can do great things together. So I want you to take a moment to look around the room, to remember these faces. These are your fellow activists. This is your community. And we're going to need to lean on each other and build each other up in the years ahead. As we look to the future, Pro-Choice Washington is building a stronger, deeper, and wider movement. We named this event Moving Mountains because of the times that we're in. Reproductive freedom will not happen overnight. It will take all of us doing a little bit every single day. And today, you have the opportunity to do something big. Donating is a powerful form of activism and resistance. Like April said, where we spend our money is a statement of our values. And the funds we raise today will help us elect progressive leaders and pass policies that protect reproductive freedom in Washington. So this morning, I'm asking you to give a personally meaningful gift and to continue to be involved in our work going forward, whether it be donating, door knocking, making phone calls, or just having conversations about abortion rights. And of course, saying the word abortion unapologetically. Yes. Thank you. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for offering your time, your talents, and your gifts to this movement. We truly couldn't do it without you. And with that, I will hand it back to Sasha.
Thank you, Margot. And also, on that note, abortion, 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 abortion. I heart abortion, abortion, abortion. Just go everywhere we go. Good morning, abortion, abortion, abortion. Hi, abortion. Yeah, abortion. I will say I've just gotten a lot more just brazen about saying the word frequently, often, in front of anybody. I don't care the circumstance. I don't care if I think it's going to bother or upset them. Because part of the reason we landed in this place is because we somehow try to talk about it all as though it wasn't about abortion, right? Like we try to put these softer terms on what it was we're doing, but ultimately it is about a person's right to have an abortion. So, abortion, abortion, abortion. All right. I'm about to close the featured auction items, so if you have not gotten your bids in, and the wind is about to take our sign down, and it won. The wind won. That's okay. We're moving mountains. The wind is part of the mountains. So, nature, right? So, here we go. Get your last bids on the featured auction items in now because we're closing it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, pregnant pause here, 3, 2, I see some thumbs furiously moving. Okay. I don't want to harsh your mellow, so I'm giving you a real long pause before the 1. And then closed. It's closed, friends. We are closing the featured auction items. And now I'm just going to take a look at our fundraising thermometer and see how we're doing. Oh, yep. We have moved the needle, friends. We are up to almost 118,000. So thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Laura, Ann, Julie, Anna, Jane, Aaron, Isabel, Liesel. Thank you so much all for your bids, for your donations, and whatnot. But now really, after we just heard from April Sims, after we just heard from Margot, I am going to kindly ask, now is the time for you to go ahead and make your donation. Go ahead and give that gift so that when we come back next time to look at the fundraising thermometer, we are even closer to our goal, if not at our goal, if not exceeding our goal, which I think we have the power to do. So go ahead, make that gift now. I think in the Classy software, it's under Raise the Paddle. Is that what it's under? Can somebody give me a thumbs up on that? Is that what it's under in Classy? Anyway, go ahead and make your gift now. And I'm just going to take a moment to let you do that because I don't want to pull your focus from what is about to rock your worlds next. Your worlds shall be rocked. While you're making your gift, I'll go ahead and make mine as well. Yes, it's in the auction. Give any amount to Pro-Choice Washington. That's where you make your donation. Okay. All right. I sent mine in. Okay. Go ahead and continue to make your gift. I would never stop you from being your best philanthropic self, but I'm just going to ask for your quiet and focused engagement as we bring to the stage the next human who's going to blow our minds. We've talked throughout the day about this being intergenerational, and it must be intergenerational work, and it must be social justice focused. So, our next guest embodies so much of this. This person is a social justice advocate and a labor organizer. She lifts up all working people, including young workers of color. She is a poet and an activist. And you already heard our keynote speaker reference her because our keynote speaker labored to bring this human into existence. Please welcome to the stage, Jasmine Sims.
My mom's a little bit taller than me. Baby girl, lift your chin. A conversation with my 5-year-old niece. When she gets angry, she drops her head and glares through wet eyelashes. Anger paints her face in fiery hues. Baby girl, lift your chin. No, she cries. She feels the world has been cruel, that she's never able to win, but I wish she knew just how cruel this world can be to strong black girls who drop their chin. Please, baby girl, lift up your chin. Stand in all of your glory and all of your sin, for you were created in the place where holy meets eternity, a place where beauty comes from within. Baby girl, don't give in. And even still, her eyes scan the floor as if searching for a place in which she can bury all of the pain that she carries, pain that has never quite belonged to her, but was passed on through generations of women who beat the odds. Even still, her skin glows in remnants of colors that they don't even have names for yet, colors that no man will ever truly be able to see properly. Even still, her eyes dance like diamonds to songs that she's never heard, songs that carry notes of sacrifice and of salvation. I cannot tell her of all the undiscovered land she will lay claim to one day, because then I would have to tell her of all of the mountains she must climb, the oceans she will have to cross. I cannot tell her that this universe has already saved a seat at the top for her, even if this society hasn't. I cannot tell her story of victory and of redemption without also telling her those of struggle and of loss, because for women like us, those stories are often the same. So instead, I paint pictures of women with wild eyes and unkept hair, feline spirits that carry royalty in their bones and freedom in their lungs, women with ideas that have always been too big, and lights that will always shine too brightly in the eyes of those who refuse to see her beauty. I tell her that she is strong. I tell her that she is resilient. I tell her that she is loved. Baby girl, you are a walking manifestation of all of the dreams of every woman that came before you. Your struggles belong not only to you, but to an entire generation of women all fighting for a spot in a world that was never quite designed for us in the first place. Baby girl, lift your chin. Because what I can't tell her is that there are people that would prefer for you to walk with your head held down, just so that they don't have to look you in the eye. I don't tell her about all the times she will almost suffocate because the world just doesn't feel big enough for her anymore. She won't know about the true price of power until she looks back at all that it has cost her. So I don't tell her. I can't. Instead, I smile. I hold her close. And at night, I whisper things to her in her sleep I only wish I had the courage to tell her when she was awake. That the same doors she feels trapped by now will be the same ones she will one day use to escape. Baby girl, lift your chin. Do it, not only for you, but for those who have never been able to see themselves in leadership positions until they met you. There are people that need to see you get back up just so that they can be reminded of how strong their legs are. Baby girl, lift your chin. For you, for your sisters, for future daughters, nieces, aunts, and friends, and some days, for me. My name is Jasmine Sims. Thank you so much.
Make so much noise for Jasmine Sims. So I get it. The Sims family just shows up to things to blow minds. That's what you do. That's how you roll. I got you. All right. Hey, Mr. Maine, the man in the back, the magician behind all of this sound and screen action. I think we should drop some good news on these humans in this room. I was just taking a look at our fundraising thermometer, and you have once again moved the needle. We are up to now almost $122,000. This is good. This is great. Armando, thank you. AC, thank you. Christelle, Shav, Omar, Katie, Andrea, Glenda. If I'm not saying your names right, forgive me. I'm anglicizing the hell out of stuff because I'm white. So Nicole, thank you all. We are getting closer and closer to our goal. But here's a thing that you need to know actually that hasn't shown up in the thermometer yet, is that we had a donor who gave us a $50,000 gift. And so that's not showing up just yet in the thermometer. So that means we are going to meet and exceed our goal that does not, yes. We're going to meet it. That does not excuse any of us from our personal responsibility to do what is meaningful and powerful in terms of participation. So let's go ahead and get there. And let me see, do I have any more people to thank? Oh, yes, Yudi and Christine, thank you so much. Hey, you all are just so wonderful. I'm so happy I've gotten to spend this morning with you. So remember, we closed the featured auction items, but the rest of the items are open. The centerpieces, well, they seem to have disappeared. That means I was like referencing something that is gone. There we are. So if it's still at a table, that means it's still available. You can still get in on that action. So those will sell until they're all gone. Go ahead and do that. Of course, we have our merch out there, our limited edition Moving Mountains merch. So get in on that action. You know you want the word abortion on you all day, every day, abortion. So now, we're reaching the end of our stage program, and I just want to thank you all, but I think we should bring our fearless leader, Kia, back up to the stage. Come here, you boss babe, you. Oh, hey. Bringing me some rosé all day. Oh my goodness, it's not brunch without rosé. Okay, so the donation link stays open till 10 p.m. You all have done tremendous work. We could not do this work without you. And Kia, what do you say before my notes blow away? I don't know why they're being so feisty today. Should we just forget? Done with you. Should we do a cheers to these humans? Who has a glass in your hand? Raise your glass up high. Hey, look, when you need to know who has got your back, when you need to know who's going to show up with you, just remember this room. Look around at these faces. Remember this room, and I think that you all deserve a cheers. So cheers.
Thank you so much for letting us meet our goal. Thank you so much.
All right, continue to enjoy the party, everybody, but the stage program is done. Have a fabulous day, everyone.